Alright, for those of you that watched my video yesterday, you would know that I decided, or I said that I was going to do a video today saying that, or a video sometime soon saying that, like, doing my thoughts on Fallout 3. Or, sorry, Fallout New Vegas. While I loved Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas was definitely very fun. I'd have to say the gameplay is very, very similar to Fallout 3 for those of you who've played it, in that you kind of have the same style goal. You're searching for somebody, and you go through all these unique places to find that person. And you finish off, like, your entire game finding that person after looking for so long. Uh, Something that I found interesting in the game is definitely the companion system. In Fallout 3, you would kind of walk around, and when you wanted to talk to your companion, you would, like, talk to them in a normal dialogue, and all of your options would be like sentences, and it was just kind of weird. And in the new way, or in New Vegas, there's like a wheel, and what happens is when you talk to them, it brings up that wheel, and you have definitely more options, but I feel like you also have more control over them. Like, you can tell them exactly what to use, like, weapon-wise and armor-wise. Whereas in Fallout 3, you put an item or weapon in their inventory, and you can only hope that they would equip it. And then another thing about the wheel, it definitely helped to organize where they would be and what style combat they would use. If you were trying to be sneaky and you wanted them to be melee, but you also wanted them to stay behind you a little bit so you could kind of sneak up on people and get the drop on them without your companion just blowing your cover, then you could go into the options, say use melee weapons, and choose stay far back. Whereas in Fallout 3, you really couldn't tell them what style weapons to use, and you had a little bit of freedom over how far away they'd stand, but it wasn't as in-depth. So I definitely think that Fallout New Vegas had a great companion system, and overall, storyline-wise, it was definitely an interesting story, and it always kept me, like, wanting to play it so that I could go on and see what's happening next. And it just, you never exactly knew what was going to happen. I mean, obviously, in the beginning, you kind of know what's going on because they have to kind of give you a tutorial, so you kind of know what's going to happen on, like, your tutorial quests and stuff like that. But after that, you don't know who you're going to run into, you don't know what type of random encounters you'll get, you don't know what kind of enemies you'll pass by. One thing I didn't like about the game is, like, your character animations when walking and stuff like that. Like, if you wanted to play in third person, you would probably not have the best of time, because you'd be walking and say you pass, like, a sign on the road, and your camera, like, kind of goes through the sign, and it might cut off view of something, or it'll zoom you in really close to your person, and then it's, like, hard to see. So, like, inside buildings, you were kind of at a disadvantage. But also, just the animations of the character itself when it's walking, like, you always have, like, your footstep patterns are the exact same all the time, no matter what terrain you're going over. If you're going up a hill, you kind of look like you're walking into the hill, not so much like walking up a hill. And when it comes to getting around the map, it was definitely a big map, and they had, like, a way that they wanted you to go to get to the final place, or rather to get to where you meet the guy who tried to kill you in the beginning. That was a spoiler. Sorry, I should have said something. It's okay though. I'm sure you guys have all played it. It's an old game. Um, when you finally get there, not only has it taken a while, but you feel like there's definitely ways you could have gotten there quicker, and there are. I mean, my first game, like it wasn't a. It was just kind of me wanting to go around and explore and see what there was. I tried to get straight to New Vegas like immediately because I was like, well, New Vegas sounds so cool. I want to go there and see what's going on. And so I tried to find different ways to get there, and there's a giant road that takes you right to it. But there's these huge beasts called Death Claws, which are kind of like, they kind of seem like werewolves in that like they're kind of humanoid, but they have like really long arms and they're super huge, and it's, I mean, they look pretty cool. But they remind me of like a werewolf that went through radioactivity or whatever. And the big road that you can get to New Vegas from the beginning city has like 2 or 3 of them, and I'm not even kidding about 2 or 3. It's not like 100. There's 2 or 3, and as soon as you like walk onto one section of the road, they just come out of nowhere and take you down. So I thought that was kind of not realistic, because what if like I sat there for a day to see if they like moved? They just sat there and would like just sit there, and as soon as anything would walk into the road, they'd run after it and kill it. I actually messed with them a little bit. I would step onto the road and they'd start to come towards me, and then I'd jump off the road and go hide behind a rock, and then they just kind of sit there like looking around and then walk back to where they were standing before, and they would just stand there all day and all night, and it was, I just didn't think that was very realistic. Uh, Going back to the storyline though, like I was saying, it's definitely very, like, it varies greatly from city to city, town to town, place to place. There's always something new, and it's always, like, there's always a little bit of a twist on it. I definitely like some of the areas. They were pretty creative. I mean, there's, like, a space shuttle place where these people are building space shuttles. There's an underground sewers. There's your tall buildings that you go through multiple floors on. There's your underground buildings. There's little shacks. There's big cities. There's casinos, which were interesting because there was always weird people to talk to. And then there were like, there was this one mountainous region that's inhabited by like, not necessarily evil, but they were like brainwashed super mutants, and so if that's another way to get New Vegas, but you'd have to kill all them to get to it, otherwise they'd attack and kill you. And they had like stealth boys, so they'd be invisible and just pop out of nowhere while walking on this path, and you wouldn't even know it. I found it best to use melee weapons, especially the Ripper, which is like a mini chainsaw, kind of like a chainsaw from the Gears of War series, except it's not on the end of a gun. It's kind of like on a little fist thing. It was definitely, I found it easiest to use that because you could just hold it and it was like zzz, and would just continuously do damage to them, so they'd stay visible and they'd kind of be immobilized. And then there's places that are like inhabited by ghouls, which are kind of like zombies, but not so much. They have a bit of knowledge. There are feral ghouls, which are pretty much zombies, but there are other ghouls that are similar to zombies. They're just a little more sane and actually have a bit more control over their actions. Overall, again, I'd have to say the game was pretty good. Not much I would change. Maybe not make New Vegas such a vital point in the game, because as I was saying, they made different ways to get there, but you could really only take one path until you were like a high enough level with good enough equipment. Otherwise you would just die. So I think they could have made it so that way New Vegas wasn't as vital a place. A lot of the storyline, a lot of your quests, like starting in like the middle of the game to the end of the game, come out of New Vegas, and there's a lot of things to do in New Vegas. So I don't think they should have made it such a vital point in the game. I think they could have kind of spread things out a bit more. like in Fallout 3, you were walking all over the place. You weren't just staying in one city, taking a quest from it, and then leaving to go finish the quest and coming back. You'd like go to one city, they'd tell you to go meet up with this one person far away, you'd go meet up with them, and then that person would give you a new quest to further the storyline instead of saying, alright, quest complete, go back to where you started, you know? So that could have been changed. I think if they had just not made New Vegas such a central part of the game, it would have been a little more fulfilling. I mean, the game definitely was good, but I think they could have changed that, and it would have made the game so much better. Alright, I know that these first couple of videos that I'm doing right now are kind of short. I just haven't done a whole lot yet. My next game review, I plan on having a bit more in-depth, so hopefully the video lasts a little bit longer. Unless if you guys like these shorter videos, like quick little 3 to 6, maybe 10-minute long videos, unless you prefer those. But 10 minutes is kind of long, actually, so that's probably like around where my next review will be, about 10 minutes. But I think I'll talk more than just about the game. I'll probably give you some more upcoming news and whatnot. But as I was saying, if you guys prefer like these just short videos, let me know and I can just do these instead and then upload one every couple of days or every now and then, you know. As I was saying in my last video though, I can like record myself playing, which I'd love to be able to, but right now I can't. I've got a pretty low grade computer, so it doesn't have the capability of doing that right now. I will definitely be getting a new one because I'll need it for college. I plan on doing like a computer engineering type thing, so computer software and hardware engineering, so it'd be definitely vital that I get a decent computer to do that with. So like, subscribe. I don't really care about favoriting. I don't see the reason for it. But if you liked the video that much, go ahead and favorite it. Tell your friends. No. But definitely leave feedback, because the more feedback that gets left, the better I can make my videos. And right now it doesn't really apply because there aren't a whole lot of comments, if any, on my videos. So if it gets to the point where I have a lot of comments, I'll do my best to read all of them, as long as they are constructive criticism. If someone's just sitting there trolling, then I'm just gonna ignore it. It's just facts. Alright, so like, subscribe, do whatever, unlike, put the little down, upside down, thumbs up, whatever that's called, thumbs down, yeah. My next video will be either Dead Island, Modern Warfare 3, or maybe like, I might do a League of Legends review shortly. I definitely plan on doing one, actually. Probably tell you guys about Guild Wars and then what I think of Guild Wars 2 so far from what I've seen. These are just upcoming things. Hopefully upcoming things. Alright. I will see you guys next time.